Welcome to the On Deck podcast presented by LineStar, your top MLB player prop bets for today, plus our home run calls of the day. It is Flex Friday, so we got to fill up those winning tickets for the weekend, head into the weekend with some money in our pocket alongside Tyler Wiemann. I'm Shannon Sommerville. We've got some great picks for you today that are available on Underdog Fantasy, Sleeper, Chalkboard, ParlayPlay. If you don't have those apps, we've got links for you below, and use the promo code LineStar so you can get a nice deposit match with that. Take advantage of that deal. Plus, the tool that we are using to help us find the best value in the prop market. You may have heard of it a time or two on this show, the Props AI tool that has helped us out. In fact, just the other day, I went 3-0 in my picks here because of the Props AI tool. Also yesterday, Tyler, our intern gave out a pick on our Instagram account, and that was Adam Mazur, Padres pitcher, over 2.5 earned runs, that cash. So off to a good start here at the LineStar app. Hopefully he continues that winning trend. So he'll be back next week and can give out some picks as well next week. I will be on vacation though, guys. So hopefully I can end strong, head into my vacation on a winning note. Let's get after it today. It's a really interesting slate.
Sorry for everybody, because you're going to have like a week and a half of just me. So deal with it. We're going to have some fun, but
I'll troll you in the comments section.
You better.
All right. So if you haven't already, speaking of the comment section, do us a huge favor right now. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment below. Comment enters you into our prop bets contest. If we go 2 for 2 on our main prop bets, one randomly selected commenter will win $50. Also, if we go 2 for 2 on our prop bets, plus 2 for 2 on our home run calls, we're upping that prize money to $100. So got to be in it to win it. And that also helps us out as well. So with the good old YouTube algorithm. Let's get after it today on this Friday. I'm feeling good about some of my hitters props for today. It's an interesting 10-game main slate if you're playing DFS, but a lot of great games, some decent conditions for hitting across the board. So from a hitting perspective, I'm liking some of the props today. But Tyler, I know you lean into the pitching quite a bit. So what did you find for us today?
Pitching is tough today for props. The thing is, the best pitchers are all going against good offenses. And my favorite prop today is Kutter Crawford under 17.5 outs at -125. Our LineStar projection is down to 15.7. The consensus is 16.4. He has a 5.37 FIP over his last 5 starts. He's allowing 41% fly balls, 31% hard contact, and that's just not a really good combo when you're playing in A, Great American Small Park, and B, it's 95 degrees. So I think that ball's going to fly a little bit. Allowing that many fly balls may not work to his advantage versus a tough Cincinnati team.
Tyler, well, I have never pitched a game in 95-degree weather. Can't say it would be too comfortable is what I imagine, especially at that hitter-friendly venue. So I like your prop there, and actually it's perfect because there's a lot of correlation with my pick, and you can actually put these two together on Underdog Fantasy. So Elly Cruz, the shortstop for the Cincinnati Reds. We're going over 1.5 hits, runs, RBI. LineStar's projection here is over 2. And in fact, over the last 7 days, De La Cruz has been on fire. 333 average, 714 slugging, 1176 OPS. And this is a switch hitter who's got much more power, better splits as a lefty bat going up against righties. In fact, he has a 247 average, 816 OPS. Also much harder hit rate, and some of the advanced metrics just shows a lot more power from that side of the plate. So he's in a good spot today. He's also got better splits at home. And today he'll be facing Boston righty Kutter Crawford, who Tyler talked about. He's a good pitcher, but he has given up 2 home runs the last 2 outings, and DLC can crank him out, especially at the Great American Ballpark where it is nearly 100 degrees. This is the second highest run total on the main slate for today at 9.5 runs. Interesting game here from a daily fantasy perspective as well. But for prop betting, Elly Cruz over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Like this play here from also not even just DFS, but if you are playing, let's say, PrizePicks Underdog Fantasy, trying to fill up a ticket, usually the best way to go about that is to make sure you're stacking your teams and players to give you the best chances to win. I did something similar on earlier this week. I believe it was on Monday, with stacking the Dodgers at Coors Field. And that's kind of generally, I think, the best advice for putting together a winning ticket with a lot of different legs in there is just to stack as much as possible. Tyler, are there any stacks that stand out to you? I know you got a DFS breakdown coming out, but anything you can kind of look at from a daily fantasy perspective or prop betting?
Yeah, the breakdown is already out, but there are quite a few spots that I do like. I mentioned, liking to fade the Kutter Crawford. So I think Cincinnati's an interesting spot. On the other side, I think Boston is an interesting spot. Just Great American Small Park ads for, more runs, more home runs, and that's always good. I do think there's a couple other interesting spots like Cleveland. Toronto bullpen's not very good. Rodriguez, who's the starting pitcher, probably won't work very deep into that game. And you get into that Toronto bullpen, and Cleveland can really make things happen.
All right, so I do have a couple more hitters props. Now, I don't recommend putting all of these together. I would just, like I mentioned, use the Props AI tool to help you find some good stacks for putting together a winning ticket on Flex Friday. But here we go. Let's start off with the Washington Nationals in a good spot because, of course, they're at the hitter-friendly Coors Field. Well, you can look to Lane Thomas over 1.5 bases. LineStar's projection is 2.2. The dude has had 4 home runs in the last 6 games, last 7 days at 1072 OPS, and he'll be going up against Colorado righty Dakota Hudson, who's giving up a 323 average at home. Wind is blowing out to center at about 8 miles per hour. Also, you got to like the fact that Lane Thomas likely batting first in this one. Nationals bats are very intriguing, especially from a stacking perspective for today. And of course, any team really at Coors Field is always a pretty good bet. It helped me cash the Dodgers on Monday. So my next pick, we're going to the Minnesota Twins and third baseman Royce Lewis, who's been on an absolute tear. Over 1.5 bases is a pretty good bet for today, and LineStar agrees. Check out that projection at 2.9. He's been over this in 8 of the last 10 games. He's had 6 home runs in that span. In fact, he's had 8 home runs in June since he's been back. 897 slugging against righties. He's also top 5% in MLB versus righties over the last 2 weeks. And today he'll be facing Oakland A's righty Joey Estes, who's actually 1 for 2 against with the home run earlier this season. Most likely to hit a home run according to LineStar's Dinger Report at 25.9%. So Royce Lewis over 1.5 bases, not a bad play either. I also kind of like Toronto Blue Jays second baseman Spencer Horwitz over 1.5 hits, runs, RBI. He's been over this just 5 of the last 10 games, but he has hit safely in 8 of 10 of those. So if the Blue Jays can just help him out a little bit, get those runs and RBIs up, lefty bat with a 367 average, 906 OPS versus righties, likely batting first and going up against Cleveland's Carlos Carrasco, who does give up an 852 OPS to lefty bats. That's over 100 points higher than MLB average. He actually ranks 247th against them. And it's also warm at Progressive Field too, 84 degrees, so not a bad spot there as well. Tyler, I know you mentioned Cleveland as an interesting play as well. So just a lot of interesting hitter props across the board. So if you've got any plays that we missed out on, be sure to drop them in the comments because it was just a couple days ago. Some of you guys dropped some props. I put them in a ticket and it cashed for me. So look to the comments as well for some great advice. Our commenters, our LineStar community, we're always trying to help each other out. Cash those tickets and beat the books, so drop your locks below and let's all cash on this Flex Friday. Speaking of Flex Friday, let's flex those muscles for home run calls of the day. Tyler, where are you headed for a dinger on this Friday?
It's been a while since I've done this, but we're going with the Tyler bump. Tyler O'Neill plus 285 to hit a home run. LineStar has him at a 23% chance of a home run over the last 20 games versus left-handed pitching. He is hitting with a 409 average. He has 4 home runs and a 591 ISO. He is hitting a home run in 17% of plate attempts. Meanwhile, Abbott allows a 211 ISO to right-handed bats with 57% fly balls. I think O'Neill hits one out tonight.
I mean, it got to on the day the Celtics are celebrating at the parade and everything. Of course, Boston's got to also show up in baseball as well with a nice dinger and casher tickets for us. For my pick, I'm going back to a guy I picked earlier this week, and he cashed for me at Coors Field, Teoscar Hernandez, plus 360 for a bomb. Hernandez has 18 on the year, and this is a righty bat with a 622 slugging against lefties. 346 ISO versus lefties, which measures just raw power. Remember, like average for that stat's around 120. That's actually his 346 is actually like the third highest on the slate for tonight. Minimum 50 at bats. Also, so he'll be facing Angels lefty Patrick Sandoval, who does give up 10% more fly balls to righties. He's also given up 7 of the 8 home runs he has given up have been to righty bats. He doesn't give up a ton of home runs, but he does sometimes to those righty bats. Teoscar Hernandez is a pretty powerful righty bat. Plus, not only are you going up against Sandoval, who does give up some pop to righties, but he's going up against a Los Angeles Angels bullpen that ranks 25th to righty bats, and their bullpen has the third highest home run per 9 rate. So I think Teoscar Hernandez once again in a good spot this week. Of course, Shohei is going to not really great value for today, but you could look there as well. Although the righty bats is where I'm looking today. If you're going to the Dodgers for any prop betting, any home run calls, liking those righty bats against Patrick Sandoval if you're going there. Although Shohei could have a revenge game. Although I don't know if it's really that vengeful with the amount of money that he was given by the Dodgers. Does that classify as a revenge game?
I mean, he played there, so I guess, but I don't think he has any resentment towards them. It's not like it ended badly or anything like that.
Right. They just couldn't cough up the cash. Got to show him the money. Yeah. They did not. So I guess maybe I feel like he'll be right at home there. Probably have a bomb today. You know what? Another one that I was going to pick today, obviously, was Aaron Judge. I mean, I think he's in a great spot as well, but couldn't quite go there. I just feel like it's too chalky for today. So I had to go Teoscar Hernandez, a little bit more bang for your buck at plus 360. So that's where I'm headed for today. But an interesting slate overall. And make sure if you haven't already to check out Tyler's DFS breakdown. I'm definitely going to, because I will be playing a couple lineups today. Hopefully win some money before I head into vacation. Remember to stay tuned next week, and Tyler will hold it down for the LineStar squad, I'm sure, with some winning prop bets. Again, if you haven't already, like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment below, and drop your locks. We're all trying to help each other out. Let's beat the books on this Friday. Let's go get it. Let's get that money. Good luck.
Good luck, guys.